Welcome back to Nails by Mish. In this video, I'm going to be redoing one of my nails to show you how to do the baby boomer style. So my pointer finger, I did on my own at first, like them all on my own, but I started off with that one. I only mixed pure white gel polish and clear hard gel to make that the tip of the nail. I don't like it. You can see my natural nail poking through. So I'm going to come in and redo it and show you guys how I did it. So we've got GelPot Clear, Nude 3, and this is Snow Bunny from Nail Queen. Now, just a heads up, Nail Queen Studio does have her own Boomer White and Boomer Pink hard gels. Highly recommend checking those out. GelBottle has a GelPot White as well, so also good to check out, so you don't have to custom mix your own colors. I don't have them. I haven't bought them. I don't have the money right now, so I decided to custom mix my own. So right now I'm just fitting the form because I took off all the gel off of my finger, and now I'm gonna come in and re-sculpt it. So the mistake I made the first time was I sculpted the nail originally out of the white, which instead I changed my method on my middle finger, ring finger, pinky, and thumb, which my middle finger doesn't look that nice either, but I didn't feel like redoing it because I'm using my non-dominant hand to do this. So as I fit my form, I make sure that it fits on both sides, that it's straight. So if you take the middle line of the form, it should be straight down the middle of your nail, just like in that little picture. So I've got my round gel brush, which I kind of messed up. It's kind of fraying everywhere, and I'm gonna have to buy a new one because I messed it up. Just gonna apply clear gel, thin coat, very thin coat, just as a little base. So the first coat is just a tiny little base coat, and when you're applying this, it's gonna be so thin, so you do not want to remove the nail form after you've applied this, because there's zero structure there, it's gonna break if you leave it. So very, very thin, working that into the nail so that it sticks. This gel has no primer, it doesn't need it, it has it already built in, so really I just went right ahead and put it on the nail after I cleaned it off. So now I'm doing the extension, and I'm not making it very thick. It's very thin. It's just going to be basically as thick as my natural nail. And I'm coming through and kind of spreading the gel out, making sure I reach the nail corner so that it gets the gel's nice and tight up in there, so I don't have any gaps. It's better to go beyond your desired side length with the gel so that you can file it off later, and I definitely do that here. I just like to overshoot it as opposed to undershooting it, because there have been cases where I've done that and you seriously regret it. So, and I always make the nail just a little longer than I need to be as well, just to give me that extra filing room. I'm trying to make it as thin as possible and just making sure it's kind of smooth at least. My room was really cold, so where my nail room is, actually quickly I'm going to pinch this a little more just so it's going to be that nice coffin shape. So as you see, this is Snow Bunny. It's a milky white, and I mixed it already with GelPot Clear. So I literally just grabbed a huge glob of GelPot Clear and a few globs of Snow Bunny, and I just mixed them together, and I got this color. Honestly, there's no formula, just mix it, and when it looks milky white, that you're good. So now I'm just applying this on top, and as I was saying before, my room is really cold, so the gel is not as free flowing as it usually is. Usually this gel will be super runny and flowing everywhere, but because my room was so cold, the gel was just not a moving. So that's the only difference between me doing it this time and last time. I've only applied the gel like not even halfway up my nail because I'm going to use this brush. This is an Ombre brush to just ever so slightly pull a tiny bit of product up into like and make it kind of fade. It's definitely not perfect and it does not need to be, but just a little bit. And then I'm going to just build the product out onto the tip of the nail. So I'm going to grab more clear now, or more milky white. I'm going to come in and just basically apply it directly over wherever I put the clear gel before on the extension. It's better for this part to be too thick than not thick enough because you are applying some pink over, and if in the off chance that it's not thick enough, you may put some pink on there and you don't want it to be in that location. And then when you finish file, it won't be as like crisp. So better to make this part a little thicker than you need it. So as you can see, like it's just like not self-leveling that well, when usually this gel will just literally self-level almost immediately, but because it's so cold in my room, it just is taking forever, which is a good thing. I mean, when you're like newer, you don't want your gel to be super runny, but it sometimes can get a little frustrating. So once I get it all into place, I'm gonna cure it for 60 seconds in the lamp, and then I'm gonna apply a second coat because I need this to be thicker. So now I'm coming in with my second coat, and I'm just applying it basically on the extension only because that's where I want it to thicken up a bit. And I'm not going as far up as I did last time because I'm going to fade into that part. So as you can see here, I've only applied it just basically on the extension, and then now I'm just smoothing it upward. It's not as high as it was last time, so it's kind of like first layer was further, second layer is not as high. Now it's cured. Now I'm going to come in with my GelPot 3. So I'm going to put on a little base layer or a wetting layer or slip layer, whatever. Everyone has a different terminology for this. But this layer is just to just lay some gel down so that when I do apply a thicker coat, it will flow where I want it to. So I am going to apply it over the whole nail, but realistically, when I apply it to the white part, I'm pretty much just wiping it off. Like, I'm not applying it very thick. Now I'm coming in with a little glob. I'm going to start building my apex here. So your apex is the point of the nail where the stress point, essentially the point in your nail where it's most likely to like snap and break, which is kind of like usually like the back third of the nail, kind of sometimes like middle-ish, depending on how long the nail extension is. So here you can see I'm applying it. When I pull the color down, I am pretty much just like wiping it off, especially like right on the end. So you scraped it off, pulling that color off, and I'm gonna cure this, and I'm gonna come in with a second layer of it because I want that blend to be like super nice, right? So I'm gonna come in, get another little glob, and the thing is, like, yes, I'm building up the apex, but I'm not like bringing it down as much. Like, it's hard to explain because you have to see it from the side, but you'll see a side profile of the nail, and it's like there's like a huge divot in between the white and the pink because I like that blend. Now that I've cured it, now hopefully you'll see the side of the nail. Yeah, so you can see the side, there's like a big curve down in the middle between the white and the pink. I'm going to come in with clear because I like that blend. I want to keep it, right? I don't want to file through it. I want to keep it. So by adding in the clear, it's kind of like bridging the gap from the apex that I built in pink, and it's just like adding the rest of the structure into the white. Now, I might file through all of this, but I might not. There might be parts of it that I don't file through whatsoever, and I want to keep it that way, so that's why I've added in that extra clear layer, just to make sure. kind of like a sandwich. It's like clear at the bottom, clear on top. Perfect. So now you can see it's filled in, especially on the side. Filled in. So it's nice straight across. I can cure this for 60 seconds, and now I'm going to come in and file. So I'm going to take off the form. They're pretty sticky to my skin. You want to take it, pull it downward. And so I'm going to do, with the hand file, just the free edge and the sides. So I've got my 180 grit sanding nail file, nail file. So with the 100 side, I'm just going to do the tip, get it to the desired length, and just straight across. Because this is a coffin nail, that's how it's going to be. It's going to be straight across. For the shaping on the sides, I'm just literally, you can see my nail file is completely perpendicular with my nail. No, it's like straight down the side, and I'm just going to be on a straight angle. And so I started in that farther corner, the outside corner, and now I'm coming inward on the angle that I want the whole nail to be on. And then eventually I start filing the whole side of the nail. Now I'm not digging into the skin. I'm coming on an angle upward so that I don't hit the skin, and I'm going downward. So now I'm going to do the sides. And you always, unless you've got these curved downward nails like that some people do, which are with acrylics and with a glued on plastic tip, these are not that. These are sculpted. You want them to come straight out the side of your nail. Even if your nail grows in a downward direction, you want to give your client the illusion of a nail that grows straight out the side. So that's all in your form placement and filing. So file the nail so it comes straight out the side. And then now I'm going to come in with my medium grit Pana, is this a carbide bit? And now I'm going to come in and just take off all of that bulk, because you'll see here, like, look, you'll see how thick this nail is right now. And the goal is at the tip, the thickness of a credit card. Okay? About the thickness of a credit card. So right now you can see that's like 2 credit cards, if not more. So I'm just going to come in, I'm going to start shaving down the tip. And since the bit is straight, has a straight angle, I can go all the way up the nail, but I want to keep that angle downward because you want to keep your apex, right? Which is that back third of the nail that has more like a bulk of product. You're not going to thin that out too much. You're going to mostly thin out the front of the nail, the tip, okay? And so now I'm just coming straight down, and this is usually how I file even with the hand file, like straight down. I'm going to go around the cuticle area as well to make that nice and flush, so it looks like it just, when it grows out, it's just growing straight out of your nail and you don't see that bump. So, yeah, here we go. So I'm going to come in. Now I'm using my non-dominant hand, so I feel like I am like struggling to do this, but I'm making it work. Thin it down a bit. Now, to refine everything, use the 180 grit side of your nail file. And you want to come in tight to the cuticle area. If this is a new nail file, please season it, like take the edges off. Use a sanding band or another nail file to take the edges off, because you want to get in nice and tight and you don't want to cut your client. So now I'm coming in straight up and down because I'm still thinning out that nail, and as you can see, I'm focusing the filing on the tip of the nail. That's where I'm taking off most of the bulk, and I'm like, looking at it periodically to see how thin it is, then going back in and filing the sides more, and then coming in across over the top to do the top tip of the nail to thin that part out. Not to take off too much of the apex, but smooth it out so it all flows nicely. Filing is key, and if your product wasn't applied properly, you will see flaws in it when you file it. But I think my product application was pretty good. pretty simple to follow. And as you can see, look at that structure. Even still, I'm going to come in and refine it a little more. I cleaned off my nail and then I was like feeling like I needed to take off a little more down by the tip, near the top. Not on the sides, more on the top of it. So that's why I'm kind of going over it side to side like that. Coming in on the corners. You just want to make sure you do retain that coffin shape. For some reason, this nail shape has always been a struggle for me because I really love almond, so I don't practice this one as much. So I'm just going to buff over everything, make it a little smoother, and then I can really see my work when I've buffed it. Just refine it a little, and then come in with your top coat. Which again, like, I'm using my non-dominant hand, so I'm not as poised, but this is the finished look. So don't mind the middle finger was done previously. Same with the other 3 fingers, and they are looking a little different colors too. But if you enjoyed this video, if this was informative for you, please like and subscribe. I try to put out videos weekly. Thank you so much. Have a great day.